I still can't believe you're real, I whispered, watching Ethan's reflection in the caf window. He laughed softly. You say that every time, Ava? Because every time I mean it. He reached across the table, brushing his thumb against my hand. Then keep believing in me. And I did. Every word he said felt like a promise I could live inside. I wasn't the type to question love. I wanted to feel it, drown in it, even if it hurt. When he looked at me, the world felt smaller, quieter, like only the two of us existed. Do you ever get tired of trusting people so easily? He teased. I smiled. No, I think it's my best trait. He chuckled. Or your biggest weakness. I laughed too, but something in his tone lingered in my chest. Later that night, I told Leela about him. She was sitting on my bed, scrolling through her phone. You're glowing, she said, smirking. I think I'm falling for him, I admitted. She looked up. Ava, you always fall too fast. I know, I said, but this feels different. Every time you say that, she sighed. Just be careful, okay? Love isn't always what it looks like. I threw a pillow at her. You sound like my mom. I'm serious, she said. You trust people too easily. Because I see the good in them, I argued. And what if there's none to see? There's always some, I said softly. You just have to look harder. She gave me a look that was half pity, half love. You're too kind for your own good. Maybe she was right. But Ethan made me feel like kindness wasn't a flaw. He said it was rare, beautiful, worth protecting. That weekend, he took me to the lake. The sun was warm, the sky gold, and he wrapped his arms around me like he was afraid to let go. Promise me you'll never change, he murmured. I won't, I said. Not unless you do first. He smiled. Then we'll never change. I believed him. Completely. When I got home, Leela texted me again. Don't lose yourself in him. I typed back. I won't. But I was already lost in the way he said my name, in the way his eyes made forever sound possible. And I was the kind of girl who believed in forever. Hey, I said when Ethan finally picked up. You didn't text back last night. Sorry, babe, he replied, sounding distracted. Work's been insane. You know how it is. Yeah, I murmured. But you could have called, he sighed. Ava, not this again. You know, I'm busy. I laughed softly, trying to hide the sting. Right, of course, busy. When we met later that evening, he smelled faintly of perfume, sweet, floral, unfamiliar. New cologne? I asked, forcing a smile. He froze for half a second before shrugging. Probably from the office. You know how people hug when they leave? I nodded, pretending to believe it. Right, office hugs. He grinned, but it didn't reach his eyes. You're overthinking again. Maybe I was. But that night, while washing his jacket, the scent clung to my fingers. Not mine, not ours. Leela noticed the change before I admitted it. You're quieter lately, she said over coffee. Everything okay with Ethan? Yeah. I lied. He's just stressed. She raised an eyebrow. You sure it's not you who's stressed? I stirred my drink, avoiding her gaze. He loves me, Leela. He's just tired. Tired people still find time for the ones they love, she said softly. Not everyone, I whispered. Some people just need space, or maybe, she said, leaning forward. You're giving too much of it. I forced a laugh. You think too much. She smiled sadly. No, Ava, I think you're the one pretending not to think at all. Her words followed me home, echoing louder each time my phone stayed silent. When Ethan finally texted, it was short. Working late. Don't wait up. I waited anyway. I kept checking the clock, the window, the sound of every car outside. Midnight passed. Then 1. Then 2. At T3 I called. No answer. At T4. I stopped trying. When the first light touched the curtains, the bed beside me was still cold. He came home at sunrise, looking surprised to see me awake. You didn't sleep? Couldn't, I said. He smiled, kissing my forehead. You worry too much. I just missed you. He brushed it off with a laugh. You're adorable when you're jealous. I'm not jealous, I said, even though my chest burned. He winked. Good, because you have nothing to worry about. But when he turned away, his phone lit up. A message. Had a great time last night. A heart emoji. My stomach twisted. Ethan, I said quietly. Who's texting you this early? He glanced at it, then locked the screen. Work, he said too quickly. Just work. I smiled and said nothing. That morning, he left for another long day, and I sat there, watching the door close, realizing forever was starting to crack right beneath his perfect smile. The bell above the cafe door chimed when I walked in. I didn't plan to be there, I just needed coffee, something normal. But then I saw them, Ethan, Leela, sitting together. His hand was on hers. Their laughter, soft, private, familiar, cut through me like glass. Ethan? My voice came out small. His smile froze. Ava, hey, this isn't. Leela turned calm as if I'd just interrupted lunch. Oh, hey, I repeated, my throat tight. That's all you have to say? Ethan stood too quickly. You shouldn't jump to conclusions. I laughed, a broken sound. Jump to conclusions? Your hand's on hers. He pulled away from Leela like it burned. It's not what it looks like. Then tell me what it is, I said. Because it looks exactly like betrayal. Leela crossed her arms. We were just talking. About what? I snapped. My stupidity? My blind trust? She glanced at Ethan. He wouldn't meet my eyes. Ava, she said, softer now. I didn't mean for this to happen. I stared at her. You didn't mean to fall for my boyfriend? Ethan stepped closer. Don't do this here. Where then? I said. In another cafe? In another lie? People were staring. I didn't care. My hands shook so hard I had to grip the table to steady them. How long? I asked. He hesitated. A few weeks, Leela whispered. It was a mistake. A mistake? I said, laughing again, louder this time. Did you trip and fall into each other's arms? She flinched. You're making this worse. No, I said, voice trembling. You already did that. Ethan reached out. Ava, please. You have to believe me. I didn't want to hurt you. But you did, I said. You both did. He rubbed the back of his neck. It just happened. That's not an excuse, I said quietly. You don't accidentally betray someone. Leela's eyes watered. I tried to stop it. I turned to her. You told me to be careful. You said I fall too fast. Were you warning me? Or were you bragging? Tears slipped down her cheek. You don't understand. No, I said. I understand perfectly. Ethan's voice dropped. I never stopped caring about you. Caring? I whispered. You call this caring? He reached for my hand. I stepped back. Don't touch me. Ava, I trusted you, I said. Both of you. You were my whole world. He opened his mouth, but I didn't let him speak. You could have told me. You could have been honest. I was scared, he said. I didn't want to lose you. You already did. Silence fell between us. Leela's shoulders trembled. Ethan stared at the floor. Was it worth it? I asked. Hurting me for a secret that won't even last? Neither of them answered. I felt the tears burning, but I refused to let them fall. You two deserve each other, I said. Because only people like you could live with this. Ethan took a step forward. Ava, wait, no, I said, turning toward the door. You already made me wait long enough. When I walked out, the bell chimed again. I didn't look back. I couldn't. Outside, the cold air hit my face, and I finally let the tears come. My heart cracked open, piece by piece, as I whispered to myself, the people I loved most just wrote me out of their story. And for the first time, I didn't know who I was without them. The door slammed behind me, echoing through the silence. I threw my bag to the floor. How could they do this to me? I whispered, my voice shaking. The apartment felt colder than usual. Every wall seemed to whisper their names. Ethan, Leela. I grabbed a photo from the table. Us, smiling, stupid, happy. Lies, I muttered, my hand trembling. Every smile, a lie. My phone buzzed. Ethan, I'm sorry, Ava. Please talk to me. I stared at the screen until the message blurred through tears. Sorry? I hissed. You're sorry now? I threw the phone against the wall. It shattered. The sound made me laugh, short, sharp, broken. Perfect. Just like me. I sank to the floor, clutching the photo. Why her, Ethan? Why my best friend? The silence didn't answer. I pressed my forehead to my knees. My heartbeat pounded too loudly, like it wanted to escape me. I saw flashes in my head, his hands on mine, his promises, her laughter beside me. You both knew, I whispered. You knew and still did it. I stood up, dizzy, my reflection in the window staring back, eyes red, face pale. You're pathetic, I told myself. You let them destroy you. My hand brushed a wine glass on the counter. It slipped, shattered against the floor. I froze. Then I picked up a piece, gripping it tight until it cut into my palm. Blood pooled across my fingers, bright and calm. I didn't feel pain, just emptiness. Does it hurt now? I whispered. Good. The cut deepened. I watched it, almost curious. At least this pain is real. Tears blurred everything again. I gave you everything, Ethan. I loved you more than myself. I stumbled to the couch, holding my bleeding hand against my chest. And you gave me nothing but this. The air felt heavy. My breathing slowed. Maybe I deserve this, I whispered. Maybe I was too blind. Then I heard my own voice echo back inside my mind, soft and cruel. You trusted too easily. You always do. I closed my eyes. The darkness behind my lids felt safer than the world outside. I don't want to wake up, I said quietly. Not tomorrow. Not ever. But then something shifted like a spark in the dark. A thought, sharp, angry. They don't get to win, I said through my teeth. I pressed my hand against the wound, feeling the sting. They don't deserve my pain. I stood, shaking but alive. You're still here, Ava, I whispered to my reflection. And they don't deserve to break you. The blood dripped to the floor, marking a quiet promise. Tomorrow, I decided, I'd start again. Not for them. Not for love. For me. And that night, as tears dried on my skin, I swore I'd never let their betrayal be the end of my story. The first thing I did was block their numbers. No warnings. No explanations. Just silence. Then I deleted the photos, every smile, every forever. My screen went black, clean, empty. When I looked in the mirror, I barely recognized the girl staring back. Her hair was gone, cut sharp and short. You don't need to look soft anymore, I told my reflection. I started waking up early, running, lifting, breathing. The gym became my therapy. The weights my revenge. Each drop of sweat whispered, "You're still alive." Marcus noticed first. "You've been different lately," he said, leaning against my desk. I shrugged. "Just working more." He smiled. "Working, huh? You've been setting records. Half the office thinks you're possessed." "Maybe I am," I said quietly. "By ambition." He chuckled. "That's not a bad thing. You seem lighter?" "Lighter?" I laughed softly. I cut off everything weighing me down. Marcus tilted his head. "That's one way to deal with pain." "I'm not in pain," I said quickly, then sighed. "Not anymore." He gave me a knowing look. "You don't have to pretend." I've seen that look before. "What look?" "The one people get when they decide to stop breaking." I stared at him, unsure whether to smile or cry. "Maybe I finally hit my limit, or maybe," he said gently, "you finally remembered who you are." That stuck with me. For the first time in months, I worked without thinking of Ethan or Leela. The silence of not hearing from them became peaceful instead of painful. When Marcus called me into his office one afternoon, I expected another task. Instead, he said, "You've earned this." He handed me a promotion letter. "Are you serious?" I asked, stunned. He smiled. "Completely. You're stronger than you think, Ava. I just wanted to remind you." My throat tightened. "Thank you." You don't owe me thanks," he said. "You did this yourself." After work, I walked home through the cool evening air. My phone buzzed with a message from an unknown number. I deleted it without opening. For the first time, I didn't need to know who it was, because whoever they were, they'd already lost the best version of me. The knock made my stomach drop. I told myself I wouldn't open the door, but my fingers moved. "Who is it?" I called. "Ethan," he said. "Please, Ava, just talk to me." I opened a sliver. He looked smaller, puffy eyes, a broken expression. "What do you want?" I asked. He leaned his forehead against the frame. "I'm sorry. I ruined everything." "Sorry?" I repeated. "That word built the shape of your betrayal." "Leela left," he said. "It's over between us." "See?" I said. "You hurt two people, and now you're alone. Does that help?" He rubbed his face. "It hurts like hell. I can't stop thinking of you." "Then why come here?" I asked. "To beg? To clean your guilt?" "Because I love you," he answered. I was a coward. I couldn't tell the truth. "Please, let me fix this." "Fix it how?" I pressed. "By promising again? By crying on my floor?" "I'll do anything," he said. "Counseling, time, whatever you want." "Words," I said. "You always have words." "I know it's empty," he whispered. "But I'm begging. Ava, I am sorry. I will never betray you again. I will make it up." He said it twice, like a chant. "Ava, I am sorry. I will never betray you again. Please forgive me." My chest tightened. I breathed out and surprised myself. "Of course I forgive you," I said. The sentence felt like a coin I flipped and hid. "You mean it?" His voice shivered. "I mean it." I lied, and my lips didn't tremble. Thank you, he whispered. Relief washed over his face. I won't waste this. Good, I said. Because I'm busy now. Busy with what? He asked. Living, I said. Getting better. Remembering who I am. He reached for my hand. I didn't let him. Ava, please. Don't shut me out. I'm not your safety net, I said. You had choices. You chose wrong. I'm sorry, he said again. I didn't mean to hurt you. Then learn not to, I replied. Learn not to break people to feel alive. He sounded small. Do you hate me? No, I said. I don't have room for hate. It's heavy. I prefer to be light. You'll come back? He asked, hopeful and foolish. Maybe one day, I said. Maybe not. Not for you now. He closed his eyes. I can't lose you. You already did, I said, and closed the door softly. I slid down and sat on the floor, the wood cool under me. His apology echoed. My forgiveness tasted like something I owed myself, not him. A plan patient and slow formed in the quiet, and I let it settle like a seed. I would make him regret everything. Pretending wasn't hard anymore. I'd practiced it long enough. Coffee? I asked Ethan over the phone, keeping my tone light. There's a new place near my office. He hesitated. You want to see me? Sure, I said. Just coffee. When he walked in, he looked hopeful, like a man desperate for forgiveness. I smiled. You look tired. I haven't been sleeping, he admitted. I keep thinking about us. Do you? I stirred my drink slowly. That's sweet. He leaned forward. Ava, I meant what I said that night. I'll spend my life making this right. I said, pretending to think. That sounds exhausting. He frowned. You don't believe me. I believe you're sorry, I replied. But that doesn't fix anything. I'll prove it, he said. You'll see. I smiled softly. Then prove it. He reached for my hand. I let him. You're colder now, he said. Maybe I just learned to dress for the weather, I said. He chuckled weakly. Still sharp. You used to like that about me. I still do. I tilted my head. Then maybe you shouldn't have fallen for someone else. His face fell. That's over, Ava. I swear it's over. Good, I said, pulling my hand back. Because I don't share. We sat in silence. I watched him study me like I was a puzzle missing its corner. I smiled again, my favorite lie. Later, when I got back to work, Marcus stopped by my desk. You okay? He asked. Never better, I said. He narrowed his eyes. You saw him again, didn't you? I didn't answer. Marcus sighed. You're playing with fire. I'm not playing, I said. I'm finishing what he started. That's not healing, he said quietly. That's revenge. I met his gaze. Who said I'm ready to heal? He sighed again, but didn't push further. Just don't lose yourself in the process. I already lost myself, I whispered. Now I'm rebuilding piece by piece. When I left the office that evening, my phone buzzed. Dinner tomorrow? Just us. Ethan. I stared at the screen for a moment before typing back. Sure. I caught my reflection in a shop window as I walked home. My smile looked perfect, convincing. I could see why he still believed me. Every smile, I murmured. A blade wrapped in silk, and I wore it well because I wanted him to fall in love with me all over again, just so I could walk away. My phone buzzed late at night, unknown number. I almost ignored it, until I saw the message. Ava, please. It's me. I froze. Leela? I whispered to the empty room. Then the call came. I answered before I could stop myself. Ava? Her voice cracked. Please don't hang up. I'm listening, I said coldly. She sniffed. I messed up. I know I did. I shouldn't have been with him. I interrupted. Yeah, that would have been a good start. I thought he loved me, she said between sobs. But he lied. He cheated on me too. Everything fell apart. I leaned back on the couch. Karma's fast these days. Ava, don't say that, she pleaded. I've lost everything. You were my only real friend. Were. I corrected softly. Past tense. She went silent. I could hear her crying through the phone. For a second, something inside me flickered pity, maybe. Old memories, sleepovers, laughter, trust. Then I saw it again in my mind, her smirk that day in the cafe. You don't know what it's like, she whispered. He made me feel small, empty. Now you know how I felt, I said. Ava, please, can we meet? Just once? I need to tell you something. I hesitated, then sighed. Fine, one coffee. The next day, she was already waiting at the cafe. The same one, the scene of the crime. She stood up when she saw me. You look different, I am, I said. Her eyes were red. I'm sorry. I don't expect forgiveness. But I needed you to know. I smiled faintly. You needed me to make you feel better. That's not fair, she said. Neither was what you did. She swallowed hard. You hate me, don't you? No, I said calmly. Hate takes energy. I just don't care anymore. Tears filled her eyes again. I miss you. I stirred my coffee slowly. Don't worry, I said, looking straight into her eyes. I'm happy now. She stared at me like she wanted to argue, but she didn't. She saw it, the calm, the distance, the freedom she could never touch again. I stood to leave. Take care, Leela. Ava, wait, but I didn't. I walked out, feeling the warmth of my own peace. She'd lost Ethan long ago, but losing me? That was the real punishment. The next morning, I opened my door to a sea of roses. A note sat on top. For the love of my life, I'll do anything to make you trust me again. I sighed. He's trying too hard. Minutes later, my phone rang. Did you get them? Ethan asked, his voice bright and nervous. I did, I said. Do you like them? They're a lot. I wanted to show you how serious I am, he said quickly. Dinner tonight? My treat. No pressure. I paused. Fine, one dinner. That evening, he met me outside my apartment, smiling like nothing had ever happened. You look amazing. Thanks, I said flatly. To the restaurant. He kept talking. I've changed, Ava. I wake up every morning thinking about you. I can't sleep without seeing your face. I sipped my wine. That sounds exhausting. He laughed softly. I deserve that. You do, I agreed. He reached across the table. I mean it this time. I want to marry you. Build a life together. No lies, no secrets. Marriage? I repeated. He nodded eagerly. Yes. I'll prove to you that I can be the man you deserve. I smiled faintly. You said that before, and I meant it before, he said. I just didn't realize what I had to lose. I tilted my head. And now that you've lost it, you want it back. I want you back, he said firmly. I can't breathe without you. I pressed record on my phone under the table. Say that again. He blinked. What? That you can't breathe without me. He frowned, confused. Why? I just like hearing it, I said, smiling sweetly. He relaxed, grinning. Fine, I can't breathe without you. Happy now? Very. When dinner ended, he walked me home. So, will you think about us again? I'll think, I said softly. Good, he said, hopeful. I'll text you tomorrow? Sure. He kissed my cheek before leaving. You'll see, Ava, I'm not the man I was. I watched him disappear into the night and whispered, you never changed. Back inside, I played the recording. His voice filled the silence, every promise, every lie, crystal clear. I'll never hurt you again, he said through the speaker. I smiled bitterly. You already did. I saved the file. Not to expose him, just to remember how easy words can sound like love, and how easy love can sound like poison. It was late. The office lights hummed softly as Marcus leaned over my desk. Almost done, he said, pointing at the slides. You just need to tighten the closing line. Something like growth through integrity? I asked. He grinned. Perfect. That's you, direct and sharp. I smiled. You make it sound like a compliment. It is, he said. You've changed, Ava. The fire's back. Before I could answer, the elevator dinged. I glanced at the time, 9:42 p.m. to late for visitors. Then I heard a voice I hadn't expected. Ava? My heart tightened. Ethan. He stood at the doorway, holding a small bouquet of white lilies. His smile faltered the moment he saw Marcus beside me. What are you doing here? I asked calmly. I wanted to surprise you, he said, stepping closer. Didn't realize you were busy. Marcus straightened. We're just finishing a project, he said politely. You must be Ethan. Ethan's jaw clenched. Yeah, and you are? Marcus, he said, extending his hand. Her boss. Ethan ignored the handshake. His eyes darted between us. Looks like you're pretty close for a boss and an employee. I crossed my arms. He respects me. That's close enough, he scoffed. Right, respect. Marcus frowned. Maybe I should give you 2 minutes. Stay, I said, my voice steady. It's fine. Ethan turned to me. What's going on, Ava? I thought we were fixing things. We were talking, I said. That's all. You're working late with him? He asked. At this hour? Work doesn't end at sunset, I replied. Not when you're rebuilding your life. He dropped the flowers on my desk. You're really doing this? Replacing me already? I tilted my head. You replaced me the second you touched her. His face went pale. That's not fair. It's honest, I said. Marcus watched quietly. I could feel his concern, but I didn't need rescuing. Not anymore. Ethan's voice softened. Ava, please, don't let this guy come between us. There's nothing between us, I said. At least not anymore. He stepped closer. You're different. I learned from the best, I said coldly. You taught me what not to accept. He looked at Marcus again, eyes burning. Do you love him? I smiled. He treats me better than you ever did. That's enough. Silence. Heavy. Final. Ethan's throat moved like he wanted to say something, but no sound came. Marcus broke the tension gently. You should go, he said to him. Ethan turned away slowly, shoulders sagging. He didn't look back. When the elevator doors closed, Marcus sighed. You okay? I exhaled. Better than ever. He smiled. Then let's finish that slide. I nodded, watching the lilies on my desk will under the office light just like every promise Ethan ever made. I first heard about Ethan from a coworker. Did you know your ex got fired? She whispered. Something about fraud in his department. I smiled faintly. No, I didn't know. That afternoon, I checked my phone. Dozens of missed calls. His name flashing again and again, like desperation, had a ringtone. When I finally answered, I didn't speak. I just listened. Ava, please, don't hang up, he said, his voice shaking. They fired me. Someone leaked the reports. I didn't do it, I swear. You always swear, I murmured. This isn't like before, he said quickly. You have to believe me. I don't have to do anything, I said quietly. He took a breath. You were right. I ruined everything. I lost my job, my friends. Your backup plan? I cut in. No, my peace. His voice cracked. I can't stop thinking about you. Then maybe that's your punishment, I said. Living with what you destroyed. I know you hate me. I don't, I said. I just stopped caring enough to. There was silence. I could hear him breathing, small and broken. Leela left, he said suddenly. She moved away. She didn't even tell me. I almost laughed. Karma travels fast, doesn't it? Ava, please, he said. Can we just talk? One last time? What would we talk about, Ethan? How sorry you are. How much you've changed. Yes, he said. I want to make things right. You can't fix what you shattered, I said. Some things stay broken. They're supposed to. He went quiet. So that's it? That's it. I miss you, he whispered. I know. You're really not coming back? No. The silence stretched between us like an ending written too late. He exhaled shakily. You're colder now. I learned from you, I said. When I hung up, I stared at the phone for a long time. It didn't ring again. Later, Marcus stopped by my office. You seem lighter, he said. Maybe I am. You didn't do anything to him, did you? I smiled. No, I didn't have to. Some people destroy themselves the moment they lose the ones who believed in them. That night, my phone buzzed once more. Ethan, one last message. Please, talk to me. I deleted it without opening. My silence said everything, louder than any revenge ever could. The sky was soft that evening, the kind that made the sea shimmer like glass. I stood at the edge of the pier, the wind running through my hair. The sound of waves filled the silence I once feared. It felt clean, empty, in a good way. My phone buzzed again, Ethan's name. I watched it light up, then fade. For the first time, I didn't feel anger, just peace. Still ignoring him? Marcus's voice came from behind me. I turned slightly. I'm not ignoring. I'm just done. He smiled. That's progress. Maybe, I said, watching the water ripple. I thought I needed to destroy him to heal, but I just needed to stop holding on. Marcus stepped closer, his hands in his pockets. So, no more revenge? I laughed softly. Revenge was just another way of staying tied to him. He nodded. Then what now? I start over, I said. No plans, no pain, just me. He looked at me for a moment. You look free. I smiled. I am. For a while, we stood in silence, listening to the sea. The wind carried the last of my bitterness somewhere far away. Do you ever think about him? Marcus asked quietly. Sometimes, I admitted, but not the way I used to. He's like a ghost now, familiar, but powerless. That's a good place to leave him, he said. It is, I agreed. He lost me long before I walked away. I just didn't know it. Marcus's eyes softened. You deserve better than what he gave. I know, I said. And for once, I actually believed that. He smiled faintly. So what does freedom feel like? Like breathing after holding your breath for too long, I said. Like remembering who I was before I tried to be someone's everything. Marcus chuckled. You've become poetic. Maybe peace makes people poetic, I said. Or maybe I just finally have something worth saying. He nodded. You're stronger now. I'm not strong, I said, shaking my head. I just stopped breaking for people who wouldn't bleed for me. The sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky in gold and violet. I closed my eyes and whispered, "Goodbye, Ethan." Marcus glanced at me. That sounded final. It is, I said, smiling. Because this time, I chose myself, and for the first time, that choice felt like home. It happened by accident. I was grabbing coffee after work when I heard a familiar voice behind me. Ava? I froze. That tone soft, uncertain, careful. I turned. Ethan. He looked different. The confidence was gone. His eyes were tired, his hair unkempt, like life had stopped being kind to him. He smiled weakly. Wow, you look amazing. Thanks, I said. You look, I paused, searching for the word. Alive. He gave a small, bitter laugh. Barely. The silence stretched. He fidgeted with the cup in his hands. You're still working at the same place? I am, I said. Got promoted. Of course you did, he sighed. You always were better than me. I shrugged. Maybe I just stopped trying to fix people who didn't want to change. He looked down. You mean me? I mean the version of me that kept believing you'd grow up, I said, his jaw tensed. I know I don't deserve it, but I still think about you. I figured, I said quietly. He nodded. I tried dating again, but no one feels like you. I ruined everything. I took a sip of my coffee. That's not my problem anymore. I know, he said quickly. Just seeing you like this, it hurts. Good, I said, smiling faintly. Maybe that means you're finally learning what pain feels like. He winced. You really hate me that much? No, I said softly. Hate would mean you still have power. He looked at me, eyes glassy. You've changed. I had to, I said. I couldn't stay the girl who begged for love that should have been mine freely. He swallowed hard. You were the best thing that ever happened to me. I know. He took a small step closer. Could we ever know? I said, cutting him off. We had our ending. You just didn't notice when it happened. He stared at me, lost, broken in a way I once was. You look happy, he whispered. I am. He opened his mouth, maybe to apologize again, maybe to ask for one more chance. But I didn't wait to find out. I smiled, turned, and walked away. Behind me, I heard nothing, no footsteps, no goodbye, just silence. That was my sweetest revenge. Not hate, not anger, just peace and the knowledge that he would miss me forever.